Hi everybody, welcome back. What is with me and the lights? Why can I never remember to change the lights so that this is a less busy screen? 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. Bah! There we go, there's one. Oh, come on, give me the other one. Bah! There we go. I'm clipping that. That's too much fun. Anyway, welcome everybody to tonight's stream, where we once again are hanging out and working on my Space Marines. We're gonna keep working on the Terminators that you all voted to be next tonight. Hopefully we'll get through doing the metallics on them. There's not a lot of trim or anything, so there's not gonna be as much gold to fiddle with, so that'll be good. A little bit of maintenance right before we start. Don't forget to like and subscribe, do all the YouTube things, hit that notification bell so you get notifications whenever I go live. The plan for the rest of the week, meaning tonight, tomorrow night, Friday night, is to stream at 7 p.m. I will make posts on all the places, the community page, in the scheduled stream chat, if on my Instagram, if that plan has to adjust slightly. I want to finish out this week. I'm incredibly tired. I will not be streaming every day of the week next week. Part of the reason why I wanted to stream this week full through was to do it as an experiment and to see just how really just how much of a toll it would take on me. And it's not all that bad, but in conjunction with my day job, it's kind of killing my brain. So I'm probably looking at 3 or 4 nights next week. Probably starting on Sunday. I'll probably take the day Saturday off, and do a little infrastructure work, put a schedule together, put that out probably Sunday morning. Figure out what that looks like. There will be a plan for next week that it will be publicly known to you all. We'll say Sunday. Hoping Sunday. If not Sunday morning, there's a good chance I stream and maybe do a longer stream on Sunday since it is my day off from my day job. So, there's a really good chance we might, I don't know, paint a dreadnought, or if I stop in my gaming store and get some primer, maybe we paint another knight or something like that for Sunday's stream. Maybe start a little earlier in the day, see if we can get some of our friends from across the pond to pop on the stream. We'll see. I'm, again, playing with things, trying to figure things out. The plan right now, stream tonight, Thursday night, Friday night. Figure out next week, probably Friday, Saturday. Let you all know, so you know a plan, so you know you're gonna see my ugly mug on your little screens. Other than that, I don't have any other channel updates. We're gonna just keep working. I'm just now realizing that in my hecticness to run late, I got stuff on the table, so actually I kind of want to show this off because it's fun, and I made a short about it that should be coming out tomorrow. I'll probably add it. Probably shift this short schedule and put this one out tomorrow because I think it's funny. So yeah. One of these days I'm gonna not forget to do that. Also, ooh, come back to where you live. Did my whole lamp get shifted? Oh, I did. Look at that. Ooh. Should I screw my lamp down to the table? Probably. Am I going to? Probably not. So this thing, this quickly not fully cleaned up thing, this is a cannon for my Knight Tyrant. This is a filament refill box. This is a guardsman. Oh jeez. This is a Terminator. This is kind of bad, huh? I don't think I'm printing it too big. I don't think I'm making it too big. I think it's gonna work out just fine. I hope. We'll see. If the guns are a little big, that's fine. I am a little nervous about the feet, seeing how big the feet were, that his foot stance might not be fully on the base. In which case, this might be a knight that gets put up for someone to obtain as a Stompa proxy, probably. She'll have to talk to Geargux about that, but yeah. While I was waiting on the thing that made me late, I was starting to clean this up, and like all of Gearguts' models, the detail on this is really nice. It came out really nice in plastic. There's a lot of support material to still fish out, and there's definitely some cleanup to be done in and around some of these rivets. But that's just mean looking, you know? Wait, where's the... Go away. Go away, Creeksman. Where's the, this box has most of the pieces right in here. Don't I have the shoulder joints? Ah, ha, ha. The wrist joint. Okay. We'll see. We shall see. That's gonna be fun. If it ends up being a little too big, I might be okay with it because it's a tyrant. It's gonna be sitting in the backfield always. It's also my warlord for the army, so like if it's a little oversized, oh no, how terrible. But yeah. I don't think I'm actually all that upset about it. More of just slightly worried. More than anything. Slightly worried that it's gonna be a little goofy. But we'll see. It'll probably be fine, to be fully honest. I'm willing to be optimistic, I think is what I'm trying to say. I'm willing to be fully optimistic about it. I'm willing to we'll make the mistake. And again, if this is too much of an overcorrection, it will make a gorgeous Stompa proxy. Yeah. Sorry, let me just do a little bookkeeping answering this text. It's the gram. Cool. Jeez. Whew. Still tired. Still trying to muster all the energy and all the willingness to do all the things. Sorry, my phone's blowing up right now, and I'm trying not to ignore, you know, my brother who's texting me or my girlfriend, because, you know, real humans are kind of important. We cannot just sit in our little tiny boxes and play with our little minis. We have to have lives. It's bullshit. Clip that. Where's my paper towel? You, oh my gosh, I literally put paper towels right there so they could live there. How did they end up? Oh my gosh, I'm such a disorganized piece of shit sometimes. I literally moved things off the bottom of my little paint cart, So a roll of paper towels could live on the bottom shelf. Where did I put the paper towels in the middle of last night's stream after I pull a fresh one? Up against the wall under my desk. This makes no sense. This is not where that goes. Well, we all do our best. That is the least of my crimes, if I'm being honest. The random particulate that always dusts my desk just out of y'all's view is I don't know if impressive is the right word, but it's definitely something to behold, we'll say. Phew. I need to find my brush conditioner. My go-to brush is starting to get a little bit crusty. I'm just gonna start by going back over the black, because especially on the weapons, I always feel as the black dries, it shows a bunch of little, tiny little white areas I missed. And just hitting it with this quick second coat always just helps take care of those. I mean, 2 thin coats, always, right? I am definitely one who is guilty of using the 1 thick coat for a base layer, and not always being too careful around the areas that I know we're gonna get a highlight layer, because they're gonna get another coat just of a different color, right? At least that's that's what I think. And again, a little variance in actual opacity, I think, of the same pigment, of the same color, is not gonna make your model look messy. It's not gonna make your model look like you've got too many colors on it, because it's the same color, just a slightly different shade, I believe, is the correct color theory terminology. I do have graphic design training. I should know some of this stuff, even though I didn't do all that much of it. I could do more, maybe. I'd much rather just hang out with cool people on the internet and paint my little models than, you know, study color theory, or even worse, typefaces, fonts, text theory. Ugh. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. Oh, why am I looking at OBS? Why am I not looking at chat? That was almost a problem. Okay. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to retrieve a cat who's being absolutely obnoxious. I will be right back. Chat, This is Minu. This is one of my roommate's cats. She's very sweet. So she gets upsetty when she's alone and she can hear me talking on the other side of a door. So she is gonna sit behind me and be very sweet during the stream. If you want to say hi to her again, let me know. Gonna be okay? Oh, you're in here too. Yes, not. The other one popped in here too and immediately ran out. So, no, you're back. Animals. What are you gonna do with them? You two gonna behave? We're gonna assume yes until proven wrong. What? Now do you want to say hi? Wow. Need to get resettled in the painting. This is Mushu. This is the other troublemaker. This is actually the troublemaker. This is one I may have to worry about. Are you gonna make me worry about you? Are you then? No? You gonna behave? You gonna behave? Good. Good boy. Nope. What I really need to keep an eye on is Minu, the white cat, likes to try to jump up into my cubbies that have my armies in them. This can prove to be a problem. She sent a custodian flying the other night. Just seems curious to find a spot to lay down. I'll stop worrying about it. It's gonna be fine. Go back to getting our second coat on these weapon options. Yes, hi, I hear you. Yes, I know you're sitting right behind me. Can I? Nope, other way. Oh. Look at what you just made me do, cat. You just made me put a huge dot of black on this perfect white shoulder pad. How could you? How dare you? Yeah, I know. I know you want attention, but I'm busy right now. Do you want to sit in my lap? Is that what you want? I swear. What am I gonna do? Come on! Come here! Don't just grab at my leg. Do you want to sit up here or not? No? Okay, I'm going back to painting. Jesus. Just sneaky little angle. It's been avoiding my brush. There we go. I think that's gonna be good. On 2. How long have I been streaming? I've only done 2 things on 2 models. 30 minutes. Well, I started about 10 minutes late. 20 minutes. Wow. Cats. So helpful when it comes to productivity, don't you know? Gotta entertain the little demons. What? Sorry, chat. I'm talking to the cats just as much as I'm talking to you. What did you find to get into? Heard something crinkle. Yes, that's the trash can. Don't eat it. Or do. Just don't throw up on my watch wait till your mom gets home. Alright, that top rail could use a touch more. Right in that little knurled detail. There we go. To be fully honest, we're probably gonna finish working on these Terminators and have spare time in this stream. Do we dare do some highlighting on our other models that I was too lazy to do the other day? Do we dare pick out some highlights on those stern guard? I think I should before I do the washes, and then it'll look different. Yeah. If we get done with the metallics on the Terminators, we'll go get the stern guard up to scratch, and then we can finish these Terminators another time. Or honestly, that might not take all that long, so we might be able to do all 5 models. Yeah, not too worried about, again, not too worried about these power cables and whatnot, as long as there's just no obvious little white specks poking up. I don't need them to be the most solid black color anyway. Mushu, you settling down? Good boy. Yes, I talk to the cats like dogs. I've always had dogs. This is how I know how to talk to pets. Yes, I know there's music playing. I have currently given up on wearing headphones or anything that will let me listen to the stream music. So I'm simply stuck continuously singing the music I had to listen to all day at work. Because it is stuck in my head. This is good music, but if you hear me whistling little snippets of tunes, or I start singing a little passage or humming a passage on repeat, that's why. That's those blacks sorted for now. I need to start putting a little less paint on my wet palette. Oh, and I really, really, really need to get something more permanent to use as a dry palette. Just trying to see if there's anything I like better within reach, and I don't think there is. Because it is all either porous or has another job that it should do. So I'm just gonna keep putting paint on the same couple spots. Gold or silver, chat? Gold or silver? Gold. We always start with the gold. You already know. Got my Amsterdam acrylic ink, deep gold. It's good stuff. Oh, that's what I should do. That's what I should do if we finish up these early, is I should just hang out and chat with y'all and write this freaking paint recipe down in my lore doc with specifics, and then you all will know how to replicate my paint scheme, which I don't really care about, because like it's not too hard of a Sons of the Phoenix paint scheme. It's nowhere near perfect by any means, but it looks perfectly good, perfectly fine on the tabletop. Notice there's some black dots on this guy's shoulder pad, and I think I'm too late to get them out. I think they have dried just a little too much. Oh well. We can either ignore them and let it be a little feature for people to find on the model, or oh my gosh. See, this is what I'm telling you. Jumped up here. This time she's trying to sit. You're gonna stay. You're gonna stay in here. We're showing chat. Do you see what she just did? Hold on. This is my backsplash box for my airbrush. This is not where you belong, little girl. What are you doing? Get out. Thank you. Ridiculous. The chaos. The chaos that ensues when I'm the only one in the house. What do we learn? She just tried to jump back up by turning the box inside out so she couldn't fit. Jeez, I do not condone animal cruelty. I just condone laughing at animals, because they're kind of stupid a lot of the time. And we love them for it. They're absolutely adorable. Yes, you. And doing the gold always brings this together so nicely. Just really completes the look, really completes the color scheme. Man, the clumsies are hitting me today. Clumsies are really getting after me today. And splotches of paint all over these white, or just the shoulder pads in general, I guess, where they're not supposed to go. Really should get some clean purge water. That's starting to come off always gray. I'm gonna be right. Sorry I keep leaving you, chat, but I'm a little ADHD. Yeah, look at that. Look how gray that is. Grody. Let's go swap that out. Alright, that's better. Look, nice and clean, mostly. Purge water. I'm gonna be making mistakes, I might as well be able to clean up after them, you know? Okay, so the question is, we definitely want more gold on this guy. Well, he's got his kneecap crest, so we should hit that. Yes, hi. Where are you? Yes, hi. Thank you for saying hello. Uh-huh. You don't say. Really? That skull is gonna... It would look weird to do that skull, but not that one or the one on the Aquila. I'm gonna leave it for now. I'm gonna have a think. Maybe see what you all think, but there's a lot of white on this model. But I don't want to lose the detail of these little cresty boys, because they are some of the best details on the Terminator models. I think they stand out just fine. I haven't been doing any of those skulls on the Aquilas. No, I'm not going to do that one. I could hit them with, like, I have an ivory, so it'll be a slightly different off-white, but that, I think, is going to end up looking just, like, not quite reading right. Couple little specks of white on here. Alright, I need some reference image. Let's go searching with you all. Google Sons of the Phoenix. E-O-N-E-N-I-X. Terminator. There we go. Images. Oop. Hold on. Where are you at? Come on. Do the thing. Why? Why must I always have stream jank? Why? Why can... No, not Finder. I said that. There we go. Why must I always have stream jank? I'm sure there's something I'm missing. Okay, so we got this guy, who I think my head is covering up right now. Yeah, okay, hold on. Let me just... boop myself over there. Again, sorry for all the jank. So they did his little collar bit and his belt buckle and the nubs. I think the nub ends on the joints is too much. The belt buckle's doable. Maybe we do the collar. That almost looks like GW work. That's also got the collars done and the belt buckle. I think the belt buckle is definitely something we're going to tap. Here's some Emperor's Children. Ooh. Some Emperor's Children guys. But, I mean, obviously we can't use Emperor's Children for any kind of inspiration for this army. Like, what am I, crazy? There's a shoe. Ooh, I like that helmet. What is that helmet off of? Somebody tell me what helmet that is off of. Because this is obviously the Terminator Captain from the Leviathan box that I'm still trying to decide on what mine is going to be. And that is just very, very nice. See, the Captain's got the trim on the shoulders. So that helps quite a bit. As well as the little pauldron plates, which this sergeant should have one. I'll have to prime him one. I'll have to put one on off stream because I might have just enough. Primer to do a couple little things. That's a lieutenant looking guy. There's some Eradicators, but again, all the Primaris models have the trim on the shoulders. It's an ancient, again with the trim. The trim on the shoulder pads really helps this color scheme. I think that's what I'm learning. There's a different take. Belt buckle, knee pad. Again, trim on the shoulders. And of course, this is all just for inspiration. I'm not copying anyone's work. I'm not using anything. I just want to show you all a little bit of process. Ooh, can't be looking at that now. I get out of there. Don't go showing out that. You know, because there's no shame. There's absolutely no shame in looking for reference image. There's actually a lot of help in it. All right, this is getting past. So, these guys up here, like this guy's probably my best reference. I don't like the collar. I don't like the ring around the helmet. So I'm not going to do that. They do have details on their bolters I can pick out. And I'll do the belt buckle just for a little extra. But I think they just have to be a little light on the gold, to be fully honest. I think it's fine. I don't think that's going to be that much of... I don't think it's going to bother me all that much, if I'm being honest. I don't think it is. Let me grab another... Hold on, let me put you all back to my top down so you can look at what I'm looking at. Let me grab another guy. Just put them side by side so I can see. No. It doesn't bother me none. At least I don't think it does. Pretty sure it doesn't. Nah. I'll live. And if I hate it, well, I've got 5 more Terminators I can paint. I can change it on them. And if I like what I do to them, I can always just paint over these guys and retrofit them to the new standard. But I think the belt buckle is going to help just tie the front of the body in fully. Oh, got a little thick there. Let's work some of that out. Over here. Jeez. Sweep right on this belt buckle. It's just wet. Wow, that's kind of shocking how much that helps. It just breaks up the solid panel of white that was his front on. You know? Make sure I get the edges at least a little bit. Try not to spill over onto his stomach or his groin plate. Yeah, that helps quite a bit. I guess if it's killing me, and we'll see how I feel as we keep going. But I can always add like a stripe or something on the other shoulder or on the power fists. And everyone can be a little unique because they are, you know, the Emperor's finest Space Marines after all. And you know, I kind of like that in the lore. They're usually pretty customized. I should not be drinking nothing but soda. I do not want to roast my voice again with my water bottle. Just had you. Ah. Hail, hydrate. Photo man, how you doing? Pulled through. Oof. Well, glad you popped in at least. Thanks for always saying hi when you do pop in. Be excited for you once you're not quite so busy. You can relax a little bit more. But I know the grind of papers and such. Alright. Ooh. I just heard one of my roommates come home. I should probably close my door. Cats couldn't survive. The cats are whatever. I do not want to bother my roommates. We need just a touch of water, starting to thicken up. wish, I so dearly wish I could use a wet palette with metallics and inks. You know, my metallic inks. Just so I could have a longer working life with all of them without having to thin them down so much. But you know, this is why we do 2 thin coats, right? And then you get extra thin coats like that up close don't actually look like they're fully saturated, and that's just a shame. Ooh, I probably shouldn't be singing big chunks of songs, as I might get a copyright strike. That is the last thing I want right now, is to give YouTube any reason at all to be upset with me. They're being so kind to me and actually letting me have audience members and letting me have new audience members. I hate to start singing an old jazz standard and just, you know, bing, catch their attention. Now we're mad at you. Now you can't have nice things. Oh, details on the bolters. Always gotta hit the details on the bolters. Don't we, chat? Oh my gosh, now that's gonna be stuck in my head all night. Absolutely all night. Ooh, that's what I do. Got these little skulls on their right wrists. Those definitely deserve touch of the argon, of the gold. So that Midas touch, if you will. I spilled gold. Come on. Get off of there. You didn't dry that fast. There we go. Here's a question. Does this work in focus? Kind of. I know I need to like turn off autofocus and things, but there we go. Stay there. Stay in that focus range, focal range. Ah. Yeah, looking good, huh? Just getting that boop, little touch there on the bolter. You know, this is my workflow. I like take models from over here to over there. I take models from over here to over there. Over here to over there. This is the only way I know how to batch paint. Just physically move them in space. And then I will know which ones I've done what on. Or at least which ones I've completed the current step on. Ah, this guy's got a little bit more. Goldfish. Ooh, this guy does have extra details on him. Well, he is the sergeant, so he should have some extra accolades for honorably leading his brethren into battle. What gains you the title of sergeant to begin with, or at least hypothetically it is. Spillage there. Clean that up in a second. Here's a question, chat. Here's just a question. When you're pulling models from a unit that's being killed, we'll say a Terminator squad, do you leave the hero officer, the sergeant, last, or do you leave the special weapon last? Because I think there's actually a narrative argument either way. Like if we're just talking our Terminators, okay, you leave the sergeant last because he's the most skilled warrior, the most seasoned warrior out of the unit, and so of course he would be the last one to fall to the machinations of the foe, of course. But could that sergeant, could that ever skilled sergeant know, especially in an army like Space Marines, couldn't they know and understand that with the fall of their brothers, there becomes more tactical advantage in something like a heavy weapon? And then narratively, you could say, oh, well, the heavy weapons guy falls, but the hero sergeant, seeing his brothers falling around him, throws his bolter to the side and lifts up the squad's autocannon to hold the line himself. Like, that could also be such a satisfying narrative. And I think what it really might come down to is the specific situation. Because, like, if I'm pulling models from shooting, I want to leave the heavier gun, tactically, as far as like the gameplay goes. If I'm in melee combat, it's gonna depend on whether or not I have a punchback and whether or not I think a power fist or a power sword is the better weapon into that target. Um, but narratively, I like the story. I like the story of the hero sergeant who, to honor the sacrifice of his brothers, bears the heaviest weight and the most effect of holding the line as long as possible, doing so by any means possible, even if it means looting his brother's corpses of their war gear. This is a fun narrative. This is how heroes, it's how stories of heroes get told. You know, whether it's your veteran Terminator captain lifting up the autocannon of his fallen brother, or I guess that's an assault cannon. You know what I mean? Or, you know, who's the guard character? The cat, is it Iron Hand Strachan, who like famously was still, you know, pulling the pins of grenades with his teeth as someone was bandaging up his loss of an arm. Like, this is how characters, this is how big lore stories happen. So I'll pose a question to you. Do you leave the actual character model, i.e. the sergeant of the squad, or do you look at the situation and go, no, I think I'll keep the special weapon, and then do you then look into, is there a story to be told here? Let me know. Because I don't think there's a wrong answer. I don't. I think there's quite a bevy of right answers to that question. You know. Because, look, sometimes you just need an assault cannon to shoot on your next turn after you're, you know, I don't know, what's the biggest, scariest shooting army in the game right now? Space Marines? Is it Space Marines? The Guard? I don't really know. Tau? We'll see if our resident Tau lover pops in just by me simply saying the words. His beloved words of his little cowman faction. Tau weren't that bad, if I'm being fully honest. They're just not an army I have interest in. But you know, after you know, a mob of, shoot, what are they called? Crisis suits? You know, shoots and obliterates your Terminator squad. Sometimes you just need to hold on to that autocannon. Is it worth the extra headache of coming up with an interesting narrative? I think so. Is it worth going through the process of magnetizing every arm of every character so you can actually like model that narrative in game? No. That'd be ridiculous. I do not have the patience for such a thing. Would it be a cool option? Absolutely. Whew. Settling into paint tonight, y'all. This is quite nice. I can feel my energy waxing and waning as I go through things. I will say, I will never not enjoy just how well these metallic acrylic inks just cover. So it was, you know, I do use just acrylic metallics. I have a couple by the Monument Hobbies Pro Acryl line, and they work perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with them. I have a couple wishes that they would cover a little bit more completely, but I'm sure that also just is, they're designed to do two thin coats and always do two thin coats, and so if you hit that two thin coats, I'm sure they're perfectly fine. But and they genuinely are. My custodies are done in those metallics. They look great. But there's just something satisfying about putting one coat down and it almost looking perfect. And in some cases, you can get away with that one coat. I think silver over black is a great way where you can always get away with one coat. Gold over black can definitely also be a case where you can often get away with one coat. Either of these over white, probably gonna do two, just because the color's not gonna show as strong. But again, just look. Granted, one thick coat, but completely white. Give it one nice pass. Gold. So satisfying. Ooh. This guy has an insignia in his left knee. I'm gonna have to break the white paints back out and do the skull in this one white. Or maybe, yeah, make it consistent. I should. Ugh. Yeah, I should do that. Let me finish the gold, and then I'll come back. Oh, did I do that dude's bolter? Yes. 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 Okay. Whew. Second guessing myself. Yeah, we'll come back to that in a second. Just go over him. Belt buckles. I have been doing the belt buckles. Oh, and I didn't do the acrylic on this side. Jeez, jump straight into the shoulder pad, and I'm missing other things. You know, the Aquila, the most noticeable bit of this paint step. Part of me thought about, and it was the sheer daunting volume of this task. Part of me thought about remodeling all of the Aquilas on my Space Marines to be the Emperor's Aquila, the two-headed eagle, instead of the Astartes Aquila, which is the skull. Is the winged skull. just as that extra little hint. The extra little hint to the Emperor's Children. And then I thought about it again, realized just how much extra work that would be, and decided, no, that wasn't going to happen. Belt danglies. Seriously though, Terminators are a little light on the extra belt danglies. I did miss one on that guy there, but usually Space Marines got all sorts of stuff. My gold is starting to dry up, so I'm gonna need to put some more down. Yep. Just grab some more gold. All right. Don't think you ever got questions for my answer. Okay, here's the scenario. You got questions for my answer. Wow. Yep. That is how it goes sometimes. I never got answers for my question. If you're pulling your squad, if you're pulling your models during a game, and there's a guy left who's your sergeant model, who's your hero character model of the unit, and you have a special weapons guy. So like in this case, it would be our sergeant and our assault cannon guy. I'm just realizing there's more gold I want to pick out on like all of these models. Say you have these two, and you've got to decide which one to pull. Which one do you pull? And I was making a narrative argument on we'll pull the sergeant, but say he picked up the heavy weapon to carry on the duty of his fallen brethren as well and as long as he can. Because something like a heavy weapon can be a force multiplier. It can make a huge impact. Or, alternatively, do you leave the hero sergeant model to stand his ground in the way he knows best with his equipment, and let him do some heroing on his own terms? What do you think? Anyone have any thoughts? No? Alright. Then my question shall go unanswered. How tragic. How terrible. I'll survive. I say you could go either way. I think in any case, I would probably make a narrative statement about it being the sergeant who stays. I think, and again, I think in melee combat, I'd leave the sergeant as is. I think in range combat, I might leave the heavy weapon, and then, you know, give some narration like, as, you know, shoot, all my years of DMing D&D, and I can't come up with a single character name on the fly. Wow. I am rusty. I am out of practice. You know. As Hero Sergeant John Smith watches his fellow Terminator elites fall around him, he tosses his trusty Stormbolter to the side to wrench the assault cannon off of his fallen brother Billy's arm, lashing it in place to his Terminator plate. He stands his ground firmly against the tide of enemies rushing towards him. He lets out one desperate battle cry and squeezes the trigger into oblivion. Like, come on. This is fun narrative. You could also make the argument and make the narrative of, as as Brother Billy of the first company of the, we'll say, Sons of the Phoenix, trudges forward against heavy enemy fire, watching one brother, another, his beloved sergeant leader fall before him. He grits his teeth and bares his fangs at the enemy as his trusty assault cannon roars defiance to his last. You can also make the narrative for the model itself. I don't think you could only do a narrative thing with a officer model, with a sergeant model. To that end, I'm going to start doing exactly that, which is narrating, you know, moments of my games. Because I think it's fun. I think this is a good way to bring some more narrative into our games, is just by speaking it into existence. Just by literally just saying, you know, narrating moments. And I think, I don't think you should do that, you know, on every dice roll. But if it's something epic like, you know, we'll keep using the same example, you know, a lone Terminator makes that last armor save to keep one model from the squad alive. Yeah, give him a little story. If you're crunched for time, obviously, don't bother. But if you've got time, if you're having a nice leisurely, friendly game, you know, throw it in there, spice it up. Live a little. I bet my opponents aren't gonna mind one bit if I do that. Though it might feel a little wanky if I do it with my Custodes all the time. At least on armor saves. And well, maybe the worst situation there is actually doing it with melee attacks for Custodes, because they freaking blend right now. But we'll see. I'm half tempted to see. I am trying to stay consistent about playing a game every weekend. I might take my Space Marines out for a spin. I'd have to look at the new rules. I'd have to pull something, because I don't have the new data cards in any form. I don't have a printer to just run off a set. I don't have a 2D printer. I know, ironic. I have a 3D printer. very nice 3D printer, you know, I'm blessed, but no 2D printer to just, you know, do paper materials. But I could try. I could familiar myself with Battlescribe a little bit more and try to run a game using that as my reference. I think I've had worse ideas. I definitely don't know the stat lines and any of the abilities that may have changed with the codex release. That makes a difference. Hitting the ammunition on the bolters. That is a very nice touch. I think I did the assault cannon already. I did. That'll be fun. We'll get some good silver going in that one. That'll help break up that massive black. You know, I'm gonna get silver going in all of these ranged weapons, like I usually do. But I'm starting to think I don't really want to play with any free-handing tonight. Probably not going to do any extra gold on these guys than what we pretty much already have. It's going to put us for the night. Yeah, it's going to put us very nice. Very close to our 2-hour mark for the night. See, the sergeant has plenty of gold on him. Again, maybe his right arm could use a slight dash more. But I'm not going to mess with it tonight. I think he's going to look just fine. Again, you might look at him tomorrow and go, eh. Let's give him a scotch more. But tomorrow, this could actually be really satisfying. Tomorrow we might be going back and doing some volume highlighting in our 2 veteran squads, in our Terminators and our Stern Guard that we've been working on this week. And then that might put us on schedule on Friday to have a very saucy little oil wash stream. That could be fun. That would be a great way to cap off the week. And then next week we see what we want to hobby on next week. Maybe more Marines. Like I said, on Sunday it'd be fun to do a bit of a longer stream and do a bigger model. So maybe we play with the Daradeo Dreadnought. Maybe I could I do the airbrushing on stream? I don't know. I might have to think on that one. But I mean, it's a big enough model, we can play with all sorts of stuff. But yeah, we'll see. I think it'd be fun if we see if we can't finish this squad of Terminators and that squad of Stern Guard that we've been working on all week on Friday. I think that could be fun. I think time-wise, as far as how much time it takes me to paint these models, I think it's doable. You know. I don't know. What do you all think? Is that interesting? Do you want to just keep seeing new models? You want to just keep going through the collection? Which would mean probably having another vote before too long. Having a bigger... This would mean having a bigger oil wash event. We'd have more models for the oil wash reward. Okay, I do need my wet palette for a second. That was stupid me flipping that over because I need to do a couple. I need to see about a couple skulls. So this is my Vallejo gray, which is a really nice bluey gray. But because it's Vallejo, it's thick as something. She's thick. It's just thick paint. Why are you not tightening well? Which just means I have to water it down well. I'm just hitting a couple. Dare I reach for a smaller brush? I just might dare. Guy doesn't have much of a tip on him. I need to spend some time conditioning my brushes, I guess. We'll just use old reliable and get the job done. Just want to thin out a good portion of this paint pretty well, so we can start by hitting skull with the gray. Which a gray base coat on white and yellow is always a good idea. Because it won't be so hard for the white and yellows to cover as black, but it will cover up the rest of your colors really well and keep them from pigmenting your white nearly so much. The things you learn when you paint an entire army white. And again, this isn't just a random color I pulled. This is the actual base coat for this armor. Even though it looks way darker than you will see, and it's because I try not to leave too much of it actually showing, but in some of the crevices and recesses, it gets pretty close to being this dark. That's the whole idea, is that it's the base coat and it's the shadow, it's the deepest, darkest shadow I build all the rest of it up from. Hey look, there is white on my palette already. We can just give that a bit of a mix in and get a medium color. It's quite thin. It's because this white's quite thin. Let's mix a little bit more. There we go. This is a much closer color. I'll show you on my thumbnail. You're gonna see this color a lot more on the models there, as it's kind of the medium in between point that everything builds from. So do this. Again, at this point, still trying to cover the entire skull. Just gonna do one coat of this, and then we'll go lighter and lighter, and then we'll go white. We'll say this white armor is the most intense color gradient I do on any of my armies right now, because it is kind of a pain and takes quite a good bit of effort. We wash our brush, grab some more titanium white, mix it into just the dregs of what we just previously mixed. Get just a bit of an off-white. Blow on our dude's knee so it dries. Now we try to cover the whole thing with this. Again, letting the cracks stay our slightly previous colors. This might be where I leave it. I might not take this all the way up to a titanium white highlight. Because that actually fits in quite nicely. Yeah, those look great. We'll leave that. Is there anything else I needed to fix on the white of any of these guys? I don't think so. I think I did that pretty well yesterday. Ooh, this guy's got a spot on his elbow. Let's hit that. Oh, but that's quite a bit brighter than his elbow was. Oops. Just pull that paint off. That little black spot wasn't really bothering me none. I just noticed it, so thought I'd zap it. That made it worse. Alright. That's that fixed. Silver. Which is really just going to be the weapons and the power cables, I guess. Do the power cables. And silver. Argentum. But first, ale hydrate. Refreshing. No, we're good. So, yeah. Ooh. Jeez. I feel clumsy today. I feel like I've been bumping my light and therefore my camera quite a lot this stream. What you gonna do? Yes, chat. I know I could just screw and or nail my arch light to my tabletop. I ain't doing it yet. I'm not doing it right now. Who shall we start with? I both do and don't want to start with the autocannon. I'm going to start with the autocannon because it's the thing that's going to take the most brain power. Obviously, we're going to chrome out the barrels. Because why the heck wouldn't we? We have a good saturated dip. Ooh, the shine. The shine coming off of this silver right now. Absolutely lovely. Love to see it. This is a bit of a glittery silver ink, if I'm being honest, which isn't always my favorite. And I think if I had known that when I picked up this bottle, I would have looked for a different one. It's what I have, and it looks fine, and no one else cares. So yeah. It just pops. Pow. Let's hit the barrel fronts. The barrel fronts. The muzzle's just a little bit on this end cap. And the actual muzzle nut too. Just about there. Maybe we do that supporting arm too. Do we do the supporting arm? I don't know. I have to just sit back for a second and look at it. not sure. I'm not sure is the current answer. So let's hit the rest of this barrel cluster back here. Let's hit this. And let's hit our little scopey scope. Oh, that's why I was thinking about waiting to do highlights after the washes, to do the eyes and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Eyes and the lenses and the glow effects and things. Sure, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Does that make more sense than making it two? Then it's two extra steps. I don't know. We might just have to see what I feel like doing tomorrow, or how I feel at the end of this stream. Because if we're gonna do another unit vote to bump our total up to 3 units that we've got stocked up to do the oil washes for, which is quite a lot. Be about 14 models, because we already did the Stern Guard Sergeant, which is quite good. I don't know. Might come down to you, chat. Might have to leave it up to you. But given how active you all are tonight, I don't know if I can trust you to actually say anything. Such a shame. Absolute shame. Good. That's looking good. It's looking like there's enough variation in detail on him. The autocannon. A little dry brush edge highlight is definitely in order. Just to make some of this pop a little bit more, because it is a big old chunk of plastic that I'm not putting that much effort into adding detail to. Just doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, spreading that shine out. I hope. Just picking up those edges, defining some of those edges, help quite a lot. Kind of fun is given how reliant this is on the metal pigment. Kind of as you move the model, it catches the different edges with this really kind of quick slapdash edge highlight. And it really makes it look like it's just a little extra scuffed up and like legitimately, you know, bits of the anodization that's scuffed off or something like that. Kind of the look I'm going for. I think that does the job quite nicely. I need a little bit more around this back end here, because that is very obviously neglected. There we go. Let's hit his little power fist cable. I'm very excited to do the oil wash on the Terminators because there is so much exposed white, and there's so many big panels that are separated just by a couple lines and some crevices. I think the oil wash is gonna work absolute magic on these guys. Wow, hour and 40 minutes. Yeah. Let's finish up these metallics and then we'll call it a night, and I will, at least as far as the stream goes, and I'll think about what we're gonna do tomorrow. And if you don't see anything, well, then we're going to be working on some details on the Terminators and on the stern guard. If you do see something, it's going to be another photo poll. I'm going to need y'all to be voting on things. Because what maybe we should do. Ooh, this might be the answer. Let me look. Because we've got this guy, this guy. What we could do tomorrow is we could add a character. We could add an HQ choice to this batch. I've got a Gravis captain who is mostly blocked out, at least in black and brown. Could very easily get him up to scratch. He does have a helmet. It's kicking around here somewhere. I think I purposely left it to the side and then am realizing in retrospect that it's going to be hard to get his head in. But I think I already painted it gold because I was thinking captains would have gold helmets. We have the Terminator Librarian from the Leviathan box, who is also armor painted, but not based. We have the Biologist, who was armor painted, and then I decided I wanted apothecaries and chaplains and the like. Character models who had specific duties outside of the rank and file. I wanted them to stand out more, so I decided both chaplains and apothecaries would have black armor base. So these two could get worked on. Either this is just normal chaplain model, or my apothecary Biologist, who usually I run as just a normal apothecary anyway. And I do have this, which is my first lieutenant I kit bashed. I think I kit bashed him out of the Hellblasters box. This was right after I think the 10th edition rules fully dropped, and people were like, "Oh, War Gear's free. You can take whatever, and you can take a lot of different combos of lieutenant." So I might have to double check that this lieutenant's still legal, but he does have a power fist and a plasma gun, but that would be run as a mastercrafted bolt rifle. This was the idea for him, and this is the power fist off of the Gravis Captain kit, though I just, the character should have a sword, and because it was my first conversion, my first kit bash ever, he has 2 elbows. So yeah, maybe that's what we throw up. Maybe we throw a character in the mix when we do these, because I'll be less daunted by characters that way. I might not put up all 5 as options. We might only do 4 options. We'll see. Okay. He's got silver. He has power cables done in silver, but needs his bolter to be touched up. So we're definitely going to do the back portion. Of the storm bolters. Something I didn't like that I did on some of the stern guard models was do silver on the magazines. Oh, that's quite a bit more thick of a layer. Let's just even all this out so it looks a little bit more consistent. On this side. Handle, why not? Let's go with the muzzles. I know often people add actual color to the storm bolters, but I think the black weaponry actually stands out quite nicely against the white armor, so I'm not too worried about that. We might do it for like the guys in black armor for their fancy bolt pistols. They might have to maybe even follow the kind of classic aesthetic and have them be red, kind of red cased weapons. This guy's belt buckle could use a touch more gold. So we're just gonna quite thin. There we go. Maybe we do like these front spindles too. Or no, let's do this front bracket. Let's just hit this front bracket. That'll look nice. With a bracket on the front of the magazine. It'll echo, yeah, it'll echo the silhouette nicely. Emphasize the shape of it just a tad. We can go in and hit edges. Oh, edge highlighting is such a magical thing. It is such a pain sometimes. It can be so frustrating to do, but man, you can't do any singular step, in my opinion, besides, you know, a base coat. That adds so much readability to a model as a good recessed wash, black line, or an edge highlight. Doesn't have to be the cleanest thing in the world. It can be a little sloppy. The right side of this guy's bolter is wearing a little thin. It's fine. Put him on the tabletop, looks great. Put him to the side. Next guy. Sergeant. Sir. Let's get your blade silvered up. This is not the sergeant we get bashed the fancy sword onto. That's the guy out of the other box, out of the actual box, not just the Leviathan quick build guys, which is what these guys still are. No, this is not a different mark of Stormbolter. I was like, this one looks a little different. No, it doesn't. I'm just making things up. That. Very nice. Brush off just a tad. Hit our edges. 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 Front edge. I cannot do the R2 scream. Sometimes I wish I could do the R2 scream. I cannot do the R2 scream. Power cables, bolter, sword. Nothing else feels like it requires silver. Nope. Next. Sorry, y'all, I'm getting a little quiet. I think I'm just slowing down for the night. Getting ready to call it a night. It's a good stream tonight. Felt very productive. We've got some absolutely table-ready Terminators on our hands. Just got a couple more steps to do for them to just take them up that extra little notch to be a fully finished paint job. Yeah. And from there, rather. Yeah, I think that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Is I'm gonna pull a couple of these characters I just grabbed. Probably those four. Probably not the lieutenant. Just because there's some funky things going on with his base that need some attention. And he's a little bit of a funky character that we'll get to at some point. Yeah, maybe we'll address one of these characters the remainder of our week. And so this would put us at either Friday or Sunday being my likely... Sunday being likely my first stream of this next week, has been our little celebration oil wash day. Which, if it ends up being Sunday, we might actually need to grab something else to do. Oh, in which case maybe we have an oil wash in a building stream, because I do have 4 more starties, or for some reason my brain keeps telling me that this is Leviathan pattern Dreadnought armor, like this, the normal Terminators, but that feels just off, because the really svelte looking ones are Tartarus armor, I think. The rounder Horus Heresy ones. And then the real schmexy, regal looking Horus Heresy ones are Cataphracti, I think. But like, if this is called Leviathan armor, then there's too many things named Leviathans in Warhammer. I mean, there's too many things named a lot of things in Warhammer, but like, there's a Hive Fleet, a Dreadnought, in this case, you know, if I'm right, a pattern of armor, there's a whole release line now because of it was the launch box for 10th edition, which definitely doesn't make things confusing. Unless this is Leviathan pattern Terminator armor, then it's kind of fitting. Someone tell me in the comments, because I don't know. Oh, I missed the gold on his ammunition. We'll do that in a second. How could I? How could I? Nope, there's just a swipe us over across the flat panel. Oh well. I know everyone's gonna tell me your brush is way too wet. You're not being consistent with your brush angles. You're not doing da 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 for your edge highlights. I don't care. It's not really all that of a focal bit of the model. All of my gold is dry. It's not that big of a focal bit of the model. No, I mean, I can't be bothered. I'm much more worried about the armor, because you're gonna see the armor a lot more of the time. And especially with the way this ink interacts with the light. Like right now, that splotch right there, which I can't know if you can see it. I can't see it right now. I can't see the splotch. Can't see it. Can't see it. Can't see it. Can't see it. You know, sitting on the table, not all that noticeable. But those little bit of shine that does get caught by the light, that makes a difference. That is quite visible. Time. All right, I think that's me done painting for the night. I think these Terminators are starting to look quite good indeed. Ooh, one last thing. I did look at this doing it and think I should put a second coat of silver on that blade so it's nice and shiny. So I'm just gonna do a second quick coat of silver on this blade to make sure it's nice and shiny. There we go. Now I'm done. That's gonna be me done painting for the night. We'll, yeah, that was a pretty good stream. That felt very productive. We got 5 Terminators looking absolutely dashing. You know, my biggest worry when I started a Space Marine army is that I'd pick a color scheme and I'd get sick of it. So I was going back and forth. I saw a really nice post of a Sons of the no, not Sons of the Gorgon. Something of the Gorgon. The bright green Iron Hands successor chapter. It was just this beautiful neon green. Just looked absolutely great. And I was like, ooh, that would be nice. And then I kept seeing some of the things, like, oh, that's really nice. And the white armor, and that'd be a fun challenge. So landed on these guys, obviously. But I'm really glad I'm not getting sick of it, because I still really like the way it looks. And I really like how regal they look and feel, and how, because my favorite bit about the Sons of the Emperor, or not the Sons of the Emperor, Emperor's Children, pre-heresy, really pre-Fulgrim lore, is how they were compelled and they felt the need to perfect. The way they felt compelled and they felt the need to perfect themselves and be the best version of themselves in whatever they did. And I think the white armor really reflects that very nicely, because I'm not doing any gore, I'm not doing any all that much weathering. So they still feel pristine. They still feel proud of themselves, and I like that. So, Terminators, I dare say, ready for the wash, complete. I think for tomorrow, and we'll see how much time everything takes. But for tomorrow, and I'll do it tonight, I'll put up another poll on what to paint next, and it will be one of these character models. And I think this will probably be the pattern we go for whenever we, do a series of working on Marines. Is we'll do a unit or two and a character, or we'll do a run of 3 characters or something like that, and just to keep it interesting and keep it fun. So yeah, that's the plan. Hope you all enjoyed tonight. Hope you all will like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all the YouTube things. Go check out the shorts. Go leave comments everywhere. Like all my posts. We've got good momentum going. The YouTube algorithm's starting to like me again. I'm gonna keep churning out content. I'm gonna keep live streaming, and hopefully I can keep doing this for a long time coming. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you all so much for watching the VOD, and I will see you all next time.